say from a coach, and then we'll take some questions after that.
Well, I'll be honest with you. We felt like we were going to be in a battle when we started the game. We just felt like the way Arkansas has been playing as of late, us losing our center before the game, and she had 21 in our first game against them. So we knew we had a huge challenge without her today. So I'm really proud of our team. Really, really proud of our team for being gritty and finding a way to get a win against a really scrappy team today.
Questions?
Kellie's second game in a row that I'm sure was probably more fun to watch it than to be coaching it with how just competitive it was. But what do you think it says about your team that y'all have now done this a few times in a row?
Well, I think our team is finding some mental toughness. I think they're finding some confidence in those situations, and honestly, confidence in each other that they can make plays. When you've experienced close games that come down to the stretch and you make plays and you get the win, you feel better about it next time you're in that situation.
What was different about this game from obviously not having player Razorback hurts, but what else was different from the first matchup?
Well, I think they were. I thought, to be quite honest with you, they made shots. They made a lot of shots. That's something they just did not do. They had a lot of quality shots early when we were in Columbia, and just didn't make them. And today they did, and they're playing. From an outsider looking in, they're playing with really good confidence on the offensive end. I think they're shooting, statistically, been shooting the ball really well the last 3 games.
Coach, you had an 11-0 run early in the third quarter after Arkansas had taken the lead back. How big was that run? Of course, the rest of the game was still a dogfight, but how big was that run getting back to the lead?
Well, I thought it was a huge run for us to, initially there give us some cushion, and then, lost almost all of it back. But, just to force the timeout, we had some momentum. I think it was good for our team. And then, I think for us, we got to do a little bit better job of taking care of the basketball. Once you have that lead, we had some turnovers, and they make shots, and they get right back in it.
Talia Jones and Wyvet Mayberry, Talia had 8 points in the first quarter. Wyvet had 13 in the first half. Both of them were kind of corralled in the second half. What did y'all do to give them less open shots?
Well, I didn't feel like they got less open shots, but they were. Our defense broke down numerous times in the half court and a little bit in transition, and I just felt like they were getting wide open looks, not just open looks, but wide open looks. And so I think I'm going to credit their offense for really getting that ball in the paint and spraying it out to shooters, but also we had some breakdowns as well that we've got to be able to clean up.
75 three-pointers combined in the game. Did you feel like that was maybe how this game was going to go, or did they take more than you expected?
I probably wouldn't have picked 75. That probably wouldn't have been the number I said going into the game. I thought it would be a high number. You could still have a high number and it not be 75, but I think both teams are going to shoot the three. I just think that's what you're going to see with both of these teams. And like I said, especially of late, they've been shooting it well from the three.
Kind of felt like maybe the play of the game at the end came whenever Grace had that step through late in the shot clock, laid it in. It seems like she's someone who just in those types of situations can kind of create her own. How much of a comfort is it to have the ball in her hands when it's crunch time like that?
Yeah, obviously Grace is a really talented player, and she's so versatile. She gives you a lot of options throughout the game, but also going down the stretch. And she didn't make a three today, but everybody knows she can shoot behind the 3-point line, and she can put the ball on the floor and score. She can find the open man when she gets doubled. So going down the stretch, we wanted to get the ball in her hands. Probably didn't get it there enough, but definitely wanted to get the ball in her hands. And I agree with you. I thought that was a critical shot.
And then Shannon just kind of woke up, it seemed like, in that third quarter, was key to that run. what makes her such a player that can take over in moments like that?
Shannon's really fast with the basketball, and she's aggressive. And I think that's her bread and butter. But then today she knocked down threes, and for her, if she's knocking down those shots, she's hard to guard because you're going to have to come all the way out and on her, and she can get to the paint. And we typically have pretty good spacing offensively to be able to allow drives to happen.
And then just in general, I guess your team, you got off to a rough start to SEC play, and y'all are just, it seems like, playing with a whole lot more confidence. Where have you seen your team grow from game 1 to now?
Well, when we started conference play, we started with 4 ranked opponents, and we were at that point we were the only team in the country that played 4 straight ranked opponents. So I think a lot of the rough start had to do with who we were playing at that time. But I'll say we hung in there. We were competitive, and a lot of teams wouldn't be able to manage that. They wouldn't be able to get through and find a lot of life in February. So I'm proud of our team for hanging in there, believing our coaching staff, and finding ways to get better.
And I have one more. Just it's weird in this building to see Todd Schaefer on the other side, yelling out plays or whatever. I guess what boosts has he been to your staff?
Oh, we love Todd, and the players love him. It's been a great addition's not right because everybody's been an addition because we're new. It's been a great fit. He's been a great fit on our staff. I think everybody brings something on our staff, and he does such an unbelievable job, in particular offensively and with scouts, and so he's a junkie. He loves it so much, and obviously being back here, I'm really happy for him and in front of his family to be able to get that win.
We'll take one more if anybody has them.
Hey, Coach, this was a game where obviously with 75 threes, there was not a whole lot of free throw shot. I believe before the fourth quarter, y'all only shot 8 in total, but you made them down the stretch, most of them down the stretch. How big is that to know that even in a game where you're probably not going to be warm from the free throw line because you're not shooting a lot of foul shots, how big is it to know that your players can step up and knock them down?
Yeah, we've been a pretty good free throw shooting team all year. This was actually one of our lower 72, probably one of our lower outputs recently. Our players have a lot of confidence stepping up to the free throw line. When you shoot as many threes as we did tonight, shoot 32 threes, you're right, it takes opportunities from the free throw line away. We need balance. We need balance scoring in the paint. We need balance getting to the free throw line and shooting threes as well. So it would have been a little nicer if we made a couple more down the stretch, but we made enough to seal the deal.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.